Chapter 1. Heaven's First Breath. Before the first dawn, before the first breath, there was only the embrace of two great beings, Ranginui, the Sky Father, and Papatuanuku, the Earth Mother. It lay entwined in an eternal, suffocating dance, their bodies pressed so close that no light could slip between them. The world was a womb dark and silent, where time itself had not yet begun to stir. But within that darkness, life was stirring. The children of Ranginui and Papatuanuku, the god of forests, Tengaro, the lord of the sea, mythic, the guardian of wild plants, Twirimdia, the master of winds, Ranginui, the god of cultivated peace, and Twiri, who would later become the storm grew restless. They were cramped, suffocated, their limbs tangled in the endless night. And so they whispered among themselves, their voices like the first rustling of leaves in an unseen wind. "We cannot live like this," Teeny murmured, his voice deep and resonant like the roots of the oldest trees. "Our parents' love is choking us." Tengaro, ever restless, curled his fingers through the shadows. "The sea within me cries for space. I must breathe." Mythic, small but fierce, nodded. "And the wild things me children cannot grow in this darkness. They need the sun." Twirimdia, the wildest of them all, flexed his unseen muscles. "I will tear the sky apart if I must." Ranginui, gentle and thoughtful, placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. "But what of our parents? Their love is not cruelly all-consuming." Teen's jaw tightened. Love should not be a prison. And so the decision was made. The children would separate their parents, no matter the cost. The first attempt was a whisper, a gentle push. But Ranginui and Papatuanuku were bound by love as old as the universe, and they did not yield. The children tried again, this time with more force, their hands pressing against the unyielding dark. Still the embrace held. Then Tieni, the strongest of them, stepped forward. He placed his palms against the sky and pushed with all his might. The others joined him, their voices rising in a chant ancestral, primal, the first song of creation. "Ranginui, hear us. Papatuanuku, listen." The earth trembled, the sky groaned. And then a crack, a single shuddering breath of light. The world gasped. The children pushed harder, their muscles straining, their voices rising in a chorus of defiance and sorrow. The crack widened, and suddenly the sky split open. Ranginui was torn from Papatuanuku, his vast form dragged upward by the hands of his children. The earth shuddered beneath them, and for the first time, the children saw the world they had been born into, a vast, untamed expanse of darkness and possibility. But as the light spilled in, so too did the tears of their parents. Ranginui wept from above, his sorrow echoing like thunder. Papatuanuku cried below, her grief shaking the very foundations of the earth. Tiini, his hands still pressed against the sky, felt the weight of what they had done. "We have broken the world," he whispered. Tengaro turned to the sea, now visible in the distance, its waves churning with newfound life. "No," he said, "we have made it." And so the world was born not in silence, but in the cry of a father and the lament of a mother. The sky stretched endlessly above, the earth sprawled beneath, and between them the children of Ranginui and Papatuanuku stood, their hands still trembling from the effort. But the story was far from over, for in the space between the sky and the earth something new had begun to stir. The first breath of the world had been taken, and with it the first step toward the dawn of all things.